say,
Top Billin. Hey, yo, all my villains, make sure you're locked, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you're liking the content, make sure you're sharing it, and most importantly, make sure you're dialed into patreon.com/topbillin for full, unedited videos, original content, possible chances to chat with your boy. You know how we get down. Still tapped into the draft. Talking about these draft picks, when I saw your man John Schneider, right? John Sniper sniped himself a 7th round pick by the name of Damien Martinez, former Miami Hurricanes running back, former Oregon State running back. The dude is just the deal. They keep doing it at running back. Seattle Seahawks are absolutely loaded at running back. It made me think to something, right? Think back on something that I talked about before that I see some of the people have now jumped on. And that was your man, Kenneth Walker, right? Perhaps the most talented back on the team, right? But that's why you would possibly trade someone like this, because he would be of value. But I'll be honest with you, all these backs on Seattle are of value because they're all very talented, right? They stack the deck at running back, but you don't need 5 running backs. So I see it says Bleacher Report predicts Seahawks might trade Kenneth Walker. You had Seahawks face tough decisions on Kenneth Walker as trade rumors swirl and all this shit. Like, come on, your boy was already talking about this prior to the draft. I believe the Seattle Seahawks should trade Kenneth Walker, and it's not from anything dealing with him not being very good. It's the fact that he is very good, and you have guys who are just as good right up under him. So if you want to really hone in and make your team complete, these are the tough decisions you have to make, because think about this. I'm going to talk about Damien Martinez, but we've already talked about how good Zach Charbonnet is. He's a complete back, very good at pass protection as well, right? Kenny McIntosh, my man Kenny McIntosh can do it all on that field. Great hands, very sudden, can make you miss, can run you over. He's the deal. Most of you were excited about George Holani last year as well, and you had some people talking about him possibly pushing Kenny McIntosh off the roster. You can't forget about him. You guys, every year is 51st dates with you guys, right? Don't forget about the guys you were already excited for. And then you have now Damien Martinez. Oh my God. You watch him navigate this split zone. You know what that is, right? Inside zone with split flow action, cross formation block. I actually have your boy Elijah Arroyo here on the cross formation block. Double at the point of attack. Y'all know how we carry it. Check this joint out right here. This man is powerful and elusive. Here we go. Whoop! Got him. Whoop! Another man, and then running through tackles. Tell me that ain't a run, right? What that remind you of? I don't even want to know, right? I don't want you guys to evoke that one name that I know you're going to evoke, but that's very much like some shit like that. Elijah Arroyo cleaning up house right there. Bang! Put that man's eyes, right? Roll them shits all to the whites. Bang! His eyes got nothing but the whites in them. And you see this right here. Counter man, make that first man miss, whether it be running over him or doing like this. Bang! When you leave his ankles in a vegetative state. Boom! His ankles were done. They turned them turned them shits into turnips. Got him right with a momentum changer. Look at that. Dead leg. Full momentum sprint, dead leg right here made that man have to half moon and twirl and shit, right? Spinning like a dreidel. Got men fertilizing themselves behind them and everything. What are we doing here, right? Then continuing to run, stepped out on that tackle right there. Oh my goodness, I got to see that full speed again. Bang! Whoop! Whoop! Did it to him. Stepped out on it. Keep going right there. Right, that encompasses a lot of shit right there. That encapsulates this man's skill set, right? You done added that skill set. That is just like Kenny McIntosh, right? How many of them dudes do you guys need? Showed you a little elusiveness. Now look at this man's power. He's going to run through contact. Great, bang! Great contact balance right there. My man took a cold one right there, right? That was hard. Not for him, though. But look, right here. My man, I love the patience, right? Slow to, and then pace it, right? Quick through. pick up the pacing, and look at that. Lower the pad level, right? He's going to change elevation. The DB here, he comes up to get him some. He changes elevation as well, but it doesn't matter. Sometimes you're just not as powerful as the next man. We've all been in them situations if you played before. We've all took a cold one like this dude just did right there. Bang, right? He's up there having to get insurance information, looking at the back of that man's jersey, right? I need your insurance cards, please. I need all your information. Damn, that shit was cold. Look at that. Coming through that bad boy, a meeting of the minds. I missed this part of football right here, baby. Bang, let's see who's going down, right? Bang, he might have tripped his breaker, though, right? Because this shit could look like it's short-circuited, right? Why he end up like that? He tripped his breaker, made that man short-circuit, and everybody's having to come in and get this dude. 6 foot, 217 pounds. He's playing with Charbonnet and McIntosh, right? He could play with Holani, right? Or he could play with Walker, you know what I mean? These are just my suggestions. I suggest that they trade Kenneth Walker, right? But they very well could just hold on to all these guys. But you put one of them dudes on the practice squad, you know what I mean? You better be careful who you put on that practice squad, because I know somebody's going to poach one of them dudes. Oh, my God, villains. You got to check this one out here. Just watch my man number 11 right here. He takes another cold one, this time of the elusive variety. Watch this right here. Whoop! Come on. It wasn't a long gainer, but you can see the type of agility that this dude has, right? He has some elusiveness. I don't know what I like better. That's just like Kenny McIntosh. Same deal, right? I don't know what I like better about Kenny McIntosh, his power or his elusiveness. Same deal right here with Damien Martinez. Watch him stick his foot in the ground and then bang. Watch what he does to this dude's ankle, right? I may not be a smart man, but I sure know your ankle ain't supposed to do like that. What the fuck is going on? We're going to have to do it to him, man. I hate to do it to this dude's ankle, but we're going to have to do that bad boy like that, right? Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today for this man's ankles. Damn. Oh, my God. Come on, man. One more time, baby. Look at this shit. That was a bink. He didn't even touch him. He binked his ankles, right? Oh, damn, what's going on right here? All kinds of shit going on this one right here. Now, that's how you finish off a play. What's this, the center? Look at this. They continuing the battle right here. Damn, he took him to the concession stand. One man's ankle is done, and this man got taken to the concession stand. Bang! Fertilized him. He made him get a horizontal first down. Horizontal first down. First down. Look at the ref. He's saying first down. That shit crazy. He's very polished. I want to say he was the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, if I'm not mistaken, back at Oregon State. I remember he played for my boys' team at Oregon State, so I had a little bit of insight on him. But look, watch him set up the block right here. Great job of setting up that perimeter block and then getting himself a little bit more yards, right, on this counter run right here, right? You see the counter action going. You got a cross formation lead. This is pretty good right here. Dang, who are they pulling? So counter O. Counter O, yep. So it's counter O right here. Looks like it has a read on it too. Bang, that's a nice collision right there with the opposite pulling guard. And then you got a Royal leading out right here. He's getting the first thing smoking. And then look at this, right? Right now, the defender, right, it's keeping him outside. So he's being patient. Defender's keeping him outside. And now the blocker finally has leverage to where he can cut that bad boy back to the inside. And he does just that. Navigating those blocks. Sticks that foot in the ground a little bit more. Protecting the ball. It looks like he might have switched hands, too. Now he still has the ball in his left hand. So that's another thing that I watch, right? If you're on the left side of the field, ball should be in your left hand. And you know the deal if you're on the right side of the field. Ball should be in your right hand. Now, I made sure to check in on his pass pro. This one right here, not that good a rep. But we're going to show it all right here. Look, bang, right there. Didn't kind of center him up. What I see right there, just from my own personal observation is, looks like he may have dipped his head, right? Yeah, you gotta see what you're blocking, right? So it's exactly what I thought I just saw. Dipped his head here. Now he got up under his pads and everything, but man, if he would have probably kept his head up, he probably would have centered him up a little bit. The defender ends up kind of breaking through there and flushing the QB out of the pocket, right? Cam Ward there. He's having a FEMA mode, that shit, right? He's holding on for dear life right there. He needs to let go, if anything. But he's had some good reps on with the pass pro. And then to me, he had kind of some suspect reps. But the most important thing that I take away from it is, it's not the fact that these guys can't do pass protection in college. This is that they don't do it a lot of times in college. They're released into the formation a ton. That is a different way to get somebody up out of the box as well. If you have somebody blitzing, of course, you can hit that outlet really quick, and he may not be accounted for, but you don't really get these guys to where they're getting the NFL pass pro experience. You get what I'm saying? Inside out pass pro, this time off of a play fake, so play action, but originally, right, you can see him scanning before the field starts. You get a breach all the way over here on the right side of the offense. He steps up to meet that right there. There's really nothing to it because the ball did get out fast enough here, but you can see his understanding of NFL pass protection principles there. Look at that. He stuck his head in the fan again. This time, right, great base whiff there, keeping his eyes up for the most part, right? Looking in this, his eyes are up on this one, right? So I like this, right? Defensive back there, eyes up, able to get that, but the ball was long gone, so it didn't really matter there. But you can see the understanding, getting over there really fast, protecting his quarterback. Now, your man, Coach Kubiak, is going to run a little bit of the ace personnel where you have two actual running backs in the game. And as a lead blocker, Damien Martinez is not afraid to bring the thunder. So you can see that physicality there, being almost 220 pounds. Bang! He'll stick his nose in the fan, baby. Right? Stick your face in the fan right here coming through. Changing that pad level, going head up with an edge player, boom, right there, right. It was a stone, right. They stoned each other right here, bang. Nobody kind of moved on that shit right there. But it takes courage, man, to be jumping in the way of some 250 something pound edge player like that. Talk about that vision and that jump cut. Look at him. The defender feels here. He sticks that foot in the ground, cuts it back, right, with that jump cut, right off the inside hip of the tackle, and then gets vert right there. Come on, right? And, of course, he's not going down easy at all. Nah, he's a high-priced call girl with his, right? He still ain't down. Damn, he's just now getting down there. But I love the jump cut by this boy. Look at this. Jump cut that bad boy, making that first defender miss still, changing elevation, and still being a menace to society while carrying the ball. We can check him out breaking the long one right here on this inside zone. You get that double at the point of attack here. Climb out there by the left guard. He does a really good job of being decisive at the very least. Look at that, right? Obviously the hole's parted, the Red Sea parted, but we can see him pick him up and put him down right here. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. I can tell he has 4 or 5 speed. When I saw this, I had to go look and see, right? So, I mean, wallahi, right? That man, I thought he had 4 or 5 speed, and I believe it said he ran a 4.51. So, he can pick him up and put him down. But you can see right here, man, he's got cat-like reflexes for one. Look at that. But to be able to see that while someone is engaged with alignment, or to be able to have that innate feel, be able to catch that, then you can see what he's doing right here, right? He's trying to erase these angles, but they're coming from both ways there. So yeah, kind of erase that angle. Then you got somebody come from the other way, so he just has to swerve back into the original angle and just get what he could there. So he can break the explosive ones, y'all. This man's a 7th round pick. Keep that in mind. We're talking about a 7th round pick. So the type of value that you get out of these running backs, I think is just extraordinary through the roof. I'm still not a big fan of 1st round running backs, regardless. You know what I mean? Because you will get guys like this, or Kenny McIntosh and these guys, man, who will just end up performing like early round draft picks.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.